Launched for the first time in 2016 with only a diesel engine option, and then moving on to a petrol-only strategy in 2020, the Vitara Brezza has been a formidable player in its segment. Now, Maruti Suzuki is continuing to persist with its petrol-only strategy, but the car that you see here loses the Vitara name but gains a whole lot in terms of its exterior styling and feature list on the inside. What is the latest 2022 Maruti Suzuki Brezza all about? You're watching HT Auto. I'm your host, Shubhadeep, and today we're taking a deep dive about what this car is all about. But old is an adjective or a state of mind that the new Brezza doesn't even know what it means. That's courtesy a completely refreshed look from the front. The single bar chrome that you see here is a fresh take on the face of the Brezza. Complementing the bar on either side are two twin pod projector LED headlight units. The LED strips are also designed in a very young and sporty manner. The strong character lines on the bonnet continue to highlight the muscular appeal of the Brezza as well. But move to the side and the athletic and muscular appeal truly shines. Extremely large, pronounced black cladding gives the Brezza a very strong presence. Personally, my favorite visual highlight on the updated Brezza is at the rear, and that's primarily courtesy the really sleek LED taillight design that you see right here. Both of them complementing on either side the Brezza badge done in a neat font size. Remember, in previous iterations of the Brezza, you had a very strong, prominent chrome badge all across the boot here. And personally, I never really liked that. So that's gone, and in its place comes the Brezza font. The Brezza continues to have an upright position from the rear, and open the boot, there is generous amount of boot storage space as well. For additional cargo space, the rear seats fold in 60-40 split ratio. Now, the one small little problem that we encountered in our test unit was that when you gently shut the boot, it doesn't really shut. So while you think it's shut, the warning message inside will tell you it's not. So what you have to do is open it and really slam the door shut. Now, the changes on the inside of the Brezza are as big as they are on the outside, and they are as youthful as on the outside too. That's courtesy a large 9-inch infotainment screen that greets you immediately when you step inside this car. This screen is larger than the one you get even inside the premium XL6, the one that was launched earlier this year. It is intuitive to use, large, bright, vivid, and well, packs in a whole lot of functionalities, supports Alexa, supports Google Home, and has support for over 40 connected car features which you can access through your Suzuki Connect smartphone app or even your smartwatch. Right from the infotainment screen, you can also check out a whole lot of vehicle information display like your average speed, fuel economy, the energy flow. Remember, this car does get mild hybrid technology, so it does offer a display on that count as well. There is wireless dock charging that tells you if it is ready to charge your compatible phone. There are also vehicle controls on the infotainment screen from which you can control the ambient lighting. There is a door unlock alarm that beeps up. There is this very interesting bit about AC mode while idling stop. So you press it, and while your car is stationary, you can select the AC control for standard, economy, or comfort. If you want the best fuel efficiency from your Brezza, then it is recommended that you select economy. The sound system inside the new Brezza is powered by the Alchemist system. That means you get a plethora of options to select exactly how you like your music. So you get surround sense, balance faders, equalizer presets, and of course the usual fare of speed dependent volume and system beep. Besides this, the whole firm feel and look of the car has also been upgraded. There is a nice layered dashboard design that's spread across the front of the Brezza. You get silver accents, you get brown material on this, so it's a dual tone black brown finish that you get. The seats still are fabric, but there are fresh design elements on the seat upholstery on the front too, as well as the rear seats that are behind the Brezza. The driver display remains a semi-digital one, but what you do get now for the first time ever inside the Brezza is a pop-up HUD unit. Remember, this made its debut in any Maruti Suzuki car for the first time inside the 2022 Baleno. For the first time again inside the Brezza, there is the 360-degree surround view camera. Press of a button on the right side of the D-cut steering wheel and you get a nice large view of all that surrounds your vehicle. You can also use the touch interface to take a better look. Staying on with the list of features that the Brezza now incorporates, you get ambient lighting inside this car, there's support for wireless charging, and for the first time ever inside any Maruti Suzuki car, there is an electric sunroof. It's taken Maruti quite a while to realize that the sunroof is one of the firm favorite features for customers in India, but I say better late than never. Now in terms of space and comfort, not much has changed because, well, dimensionally the Brezza still remains identical. What that means is that you still have decent amount of space for 2 passengers while 3 sitting abreast is a bit of a tight squeeze. As I sit, this seat is positioned all the way back and I still have decent amount of knee room, a lot of space for my feet, leg room is also quite decent, and under thigh support is impressive. Headroom is again more or less at par with what you'd expect in a subcompact SUV, and the fit, feel and finish of the Brezza now still remains quite adequately premium. You also get central armrest here with cup holders. There are dedicated AC vents and 2 USB points for charging your devices. The Maruti Suzuki has clearly put all its efforts on updating the styling of the car and adding to the feature list, and that's only fair because the upgrade to the engine came just 2 years ago. Remember, that's when the Brezza dropped its diesel engine options and opted for a petrol-only motor. That same 1.5 litre naturally aspirated motor has been carried forward inside the 2022 Brezza and comes mated to a 5-speed manual transmission, again carried forward, but the 4-speed 80 now makes way for a 6-speed torque converter 80 gearbox. The one we're driving right now though is the 5-speed MT. We did drive the manual variant of the newly launched Venue as well, and in direct comparison, the one inside the Venue is a bit more sharper, shorter and crisper. But that said, the 5-speed MT inside the Brezza is quite good on its own account, on its own merit as well. The shifts are precise, crisp, and once you get a move on, regardless of whether you're going up or down on the gears, the Brezza responds really well. The tagline of the Brezza being an urban SUV also comes because of the steering setup of this car. It remains a light steering setup, which means it won't be the most eager when you're throwing it into turns, but it is flexible enough for those very narrow, tight lanes, or even for that matter in tight city traffic conditions. The 1.5 litre motor continues to give the Brezza a very sure-footed appeal. So the car at lower and higher rev bands continues to perform reasonably well, but at mid rev bands it is a bit of a struggle to get a move on. But press the throttle and once the rev band hits around the 3000 RPM mark, it is an absolute smooth sailing from there on. In fact, it is so good that chances are, and I'm saying just chances, you won't really miss the fact that Maruti Suzuki doesn't offer a turbo petrol engine option on the Brezza. But there are certain fine-tunings that Maruti has done, starting with the claim of NVH levels being improved, and that is, well, quite evident. The groan from the engine is a little more silent now when this car is being pushed than it was in the 2020 edition of this vehicle. This car, as I mentioned, gets a new 6-speed torque converter 80 unit. So it's now time to swap cars and take a look at what that auto gearbox has on offer. The 6-speed 80 is an improvement over the previous auto gearbox in the Brezza. This much is certain. And obviously it provides the convenience if this urban SUV remains mostly in urban locations. On its own, the 80 fares reasonably well with decent power build-up. But if you want to hurry up time, the response may be lacking more often than not. This would be most felt also if you draw comparisons with the DCT or CVT systems. But Brezza appears to make up a bit for it by also getting paddle shifters, crucial for overtaking moves that the Brezza manual completes effortlessly. The latest Brezza definitely looks younger and newer than ever before, and there is no real doubting that. The featured additions on the inside too are great, but the potential Achilles heel lies in its pricing. Starting at rupees 8 lakh and going all the way to almost rupees 14 lakh makes the newest Brezza quite a pricey affair. That is, even if you compare it to its rivals that have diesel engine options and DCT transmission. Does then the latest Brezza deserve its pricing structure? We'll leave that for you to decide. In this episode though, that's all the time we have. This is Shubhadeep signing out.